Hey everyone, it is Winslow, and 2019 has been a great year for albums. So, yeah, without taking all day, my top five drum and bass albums of 2019. In no particular order. It could have been like top 10, but let's keep it five for YouTube clickbait's sake. So, number one, Building Better Worlds by London Elektricity. Probably one of my most anticipated albums of this whole year, just because I'm a huge London Electricity fan. I think he first put out a teaser or something last year in like one of the hospital podcasts, and since then I've just been like, please put this out. All the collaborations with him and Inja, Bulgarian Goddess with amazing vocals. Yeah, then he collaborated with his son, the Secretary General, which is awesome on Time to Think. Him and Inja as well, and then vocalist Vane. So much good songwriting. Yeah, I don't know. I really love a lot of like depth and musicality. It's what I try to bring to my music, and he's like a massive inspiration to where I want to like push myself. Yeah, my second album in this list, FD, Better Days on the North Quarter. Like since his first album, Alone with Everybody on the North Quarter from 2017, I've been like a huge fan. And I feel like he just upped his production game. I love the overall sound of the album too, just like its sonic like palette, how clean and clear everything is. It doesn't have like an ultra like crisp vibe, but it feels just like natural, kind of how people compare vinyl to digital, but even though that's a whole other thing, but it really sounds good. For me, it's been one of my like most listened to every track on the album. My favorite tracks: Deadly Styles, Twos and Fives, one of my favorite tracks. I love all the interludes and things like that. I really love how the North Quarter, they always have that in there, like especially Lensman does in his album. But it just brings me back to like old jazz or R&B albums or like hip hop albums from like 90s where there would be like skits and stuff or just kind of intros to the next track. I really love that. But yeah, Better Days by FD. If you haven't heard it, you should. If you're not following the North Quarter and everything they do, you really need to. The music is amazing. So my next favorite album would be Yonda by Kimyan. I've been waiting for something from him since his last album, Zawadi. What year is that? 2016. I keep saying this musical, very intricate, just like the amount of layers and drums and the perfect attention to detail that he puts into his music is amazing. Then the storytelling is really good. He highlighted in his UKF interview, I believe, that the last track from Zawadi goes into the first track, which let me put the name just so you know, Yardine. And I love that. Just like a continuous story, like that was, you could say, a chapter, and this is, the next. And then Krieg, one of my favorite tracks on the album, by the way, is 9 minutes and it's complete story, and I feel like it really maps out like a scene of a battle. Like it's just really well done. Has such like a natural and organic quality to it, and it's definitely one of those albums that you can just listen through over and over. There's a lot of tracks that would work in like a set on a dance floor. It's like a really good listening album. It's just one of my favorites. I think a bit more abstract from the normal drum and bass while still keeping some of those like hints and kind of influences, like they take this and they kind of abstract it really wide, and I think Kimyan does that extremely well from album to album. Yeah, that's definitely one of my favorites of this year. All right, next we have Nomad's Revenge by Billain. Just what do I love more than a concept album? From start to finish, there's a storyline. Building up to the release, he released these short stories or these kind of video docs. I really love just the musical aspect, how technical everything we know Billain for. He goes from D&B, the hardest stuff, neurofunk, obviously, really techie things, halftime every now and then, but still with his signature sound, and it's just amazing. Like technically just perfection. That attention to detail is amazing, how every little thing just blends into one another. All the artwork, he's an amazing visual artist. If you follow him on social media, he does a lot of sketches and things for a lot of his artwork. I think he does some of the artwork for Eat Brain. Yeah, it's just really amazing. I love the entire story, the cyberpunk somewhat vibe, the Blade Runner kind of style. It's really awesome and definitely worth a listen. It definitely suits dance floor and just like fitting in the sets, and also as an overall experience of just sitting and listening to an album. So if you haven't heard it, check it out. It's Nomad's Revenge by Billain. Last but not least, I might get a little flack for this, but this released today. It's LSB and DRS, The Blue Hour. How does it your favorite album in just one day of being released? Well, it's still growing on me. It did take a while. I feel like it still makes its way into my favorite albums of 2019. I know I'll feel that way after a few more listens. I mean, just keep it simple. It's just a really great album. The production is top notch. It's pushing what people are probably expecting out of an album. LSB did an amazing job, from tracks you would expect from him, sounds you expect from him, to now more live, more hip hop influence, more live musicians recorded, similar to what LSB did on his album Content in 2016, where he started, I don't know, I won't say started, experiment more live instruments, drums, bass, strings, lots of nice jazz influences. And as an instrumentalist, I really love that. Have a nice string player in there. That's perfect for me as a string player. Then you have DRS and his vocals and his storytelling, from heartbreak to trials, tribulations, the ups and downs, everyday life, relationships. It feels very, very personal and very just heartfelt. It's just him front and center. This is what I have to say for these 14 tracks. It doesn't get boring. It doesn't get repetitive. Some of the themes might be the same, but he always finds different ways to explain it. And I feel like it's just a really excellent album that is a classic, I think, in drum and bass, or will become a classic. Yeah, I know it's just out today, this week, whatever, but it's one of my favorites of this year. So yeah, so that's my 5 favorite drum and bass albums of 2019. I know the DMB Awards and everything just kind of passed all that voting, and half of these weren't in there because they were late or they just didn't get voted, whatever. These are my 5 favorites. There are a lot of good ones this year. We got Document 1 by Document 1, which is a really awesome. Shadows and Silhouettes by Hugh Hardy was one of my favorites. Dubplate Style by Spy. The Random Movements album on his label Flight Pattern, Lost on Purpose, was really good. What else was there? Lensman's album, Bobby. Yeah, like I said, there wasn't a ton of albums this year. Oh, Makoto's album, The Tomodachi Sessions, was really awesome. Again, there's more than I could put in like a 5 list, but these are my 5 favorites. Let me know what yours were. What do you think? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next top 5 of whatever 2019 video. I feel like I might do one for my favorite artists, favorite labels. Yeah, we'll see.